So after weeks of delays and contentious debate, Senator Jeff Sessions is poised to become the next Attorney General in a confirmation vote this evening. Democrats pulling another all-nighter to voice their opposition to the nominee, and tensions were running high. At one point, the majority leader cut off Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren while she was reading a 1986 letter from Coretta Scott King accusing her of breaking Senate rules.
Mr. Sessions sought to punish older black civil rights activists, advisors, and colleagues of my husband, who had been key figures in the civil rights movement in the 1960s.
Senators impugn the motives and conduct of our colleague from Alabama as warned by the chair. I call the senator to order under the provisions of Rule 19.
Mr. President, I am surprised that the words of Coretta Scott King are not suitable for debate in the United States Senate. I ask leave of the Senate to continue my remarks.
Wow. Chief Congressional Correspondent Mike Emanuel joins us live from Capitol Hill. I mean, how tense are things at the Senate these days?
Melissa, good morning. Very tense. These all-nighters debating for and against cabinet secretary nominees are clearly irritating some members. We know Republicans have been irritated about the pace of confirmation of these cabinet nominees, and Republicans were defending Jeff Sessions, one of their own, last night on the Senate floor. The Senate has been up all night talking about his nomination to be our next Attorney General, and Republicans have been defending someone who's been a member here for 20 years.
He evaluates the evidence carefully and comes to a well-considered conclusion. I'd argue it's this very approach that led him to advocate for an immigration system that works for working Americans. And I have every confidence, as our top law enforcement officer, he'll keep the interests of American citizens uppermost in his mind.
The Senate is traditionally a very clubby place with only 100 members. It isn't right now, Melissa.
Yeah, no doubt, to say the least. So what are the Democrats saying about their Senate colleague, Jeff Sessions?
Well, Democratic sources I've talked to say that their base is clearly very angry about the election, and they are pushing Democrats here on Capitol Hill to fight everything. And so about Jeff Sessions, they're saying that he is too extreme on immigration, that he has consistently opposed immigration reform over the years. And they're also defending one of their own in Elizabeth Warren, who was sidelined in this fight.
In the midst of her speaking her truth, in the midst of her speaking her heart, she was stopped as she read something into the record that had been there for decades. Now, to me, that's problematic, not just because it was a regular speech, but because this had to do with her constitutional duty of providing advice and consent.
Democrats can complain all they want. All they can do is run the clock at this point. We expect Jeff Sessions to be confirmed as our next Attorney General this evening. Melissa?
Lots for you to cover there, Mike Emanuel. Thank you.
Indeed.